Tonight we're going to air the original 26-minute pilot that was made completely of construction paper. Then, shut the fuck up! Then after that, there's going to be a Q&A with two guys who are involved with the... We're going to talk to the train a little bit about how the train doesn't, you know, have any manners. That's the loudest fucking horn I've ever heard. I didn't even know people still use trains. It's an obsolete technology. What's that? I was in House Funny. Yes, I was the bad. I mix drinks and have sensitive nipples. That's right, I was in that movie. That's right, guy. I'm just gonna wait for asshole to pass. You ever like look at a train like it's an asshole? Oh, picture? Point at my wiener. Tweet that shit. # South Park. Thanks, bud. All right. And then there's going to be a Q&A with two guys who were there for the original pilot. They're best friends with the creators. They're awesome dudes. And then they're playing the original South Park feature. You guys excited? Make some noise. I like that. It's a good feeling crowd. Stop tweeting and texting and make some fucking noise. Make some noise. Put your hands together like a human being. I love that. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Go hide behind the speaker. All right, guys. Here we go. We're about to play you the original pilot for South Park. Made history. Thank you. I like this group. Give it up for yourselves. Do your buns hurt? Cement buns? Alright, just making conversation. Sorry, guys. Alright, here we go. We're going to have a Q&A with two of the guys that started it all. One's the creative director. His name is Chris Brion. And the other is one of the original producers. His name is Stough. Ladies and gentlemen, keep it going. Make some noise. We're going to do a Q&A. I'm going to come out in the crowd, and you guys can ask any question you want.
Can I ask a question, Daddy?
Raise your hand if you need to ask a question. I'm going to pop out. I'm just kidding.
How does it go?
Right? I don't know.
Yeah, we started it all. We didn't start it all. No.
We were there along for the ride.
We were there. We were there for the pilot. And I'm really sorry that Matt and Trey couldn't be here tonight. I know you guys are probably all excited to see Matt and Trey. But because they've been working so hard on the Book of Mormon and the last run that we did, it's awesome. Anyone who gets to go see the Book of Mormon, it's awesome.
Totally worth it.
But obviously they needed a break, so they took a break this summer, and it was well deserved. Orgasmo 2? Not in the works. Not in the works right now.
How about not currently?
Yeah. Are we supposed to this point?
No, I think
there's somebody walking around. There we go. There we go. We have a question.
Another South Park special like Imagination Land?
Yes. Yes, we do need to do another Imagination Land. Okay. Next question.
Did Cartman originally have a dad and a sister?
Yeah. Yeah, as you just saw in the pilot, behind, the dinner, there was him and there was a father. And that was before the whole thing with Cartman's mom's a dirty slut and who is Cartman's father.
So it didn't really work out for her to be a slut and have a husband, really, so...
Correct. Yeah. But yes, you're right. Yeah, that was a thing that was added in the pilot before it was all thought out. Yeah.
What are the chances of another South Park movie someday?
I think the chances are good.
It's always talked about. Like, it's talked about, and there have been some times when we've come up with ideas.
Yeah.
But they get turned into shows.
Personally, being on the show, every time we get into a run and there's this great idea to do it, we always end up using it as an episode. But I think a lot of the episodes could have been movies, you know. But you know, with a movie you need music, and you know, it has to be really grand. And so, another grand idea. It'll be another movie. Yeah.
What was the point of the last episode of the season? Was it just like the end, or what happened? Like,
It's a good question.
The end. Definitely not the end.
I think it's been announced now that we still have 2 years under contract, so we have the rest of this season, and then we have 2 years beyond that.
Make some noise for 2 years,
It is not
everybody.
the end. No, it's not the end.
And this is it. I'm sure this question will come up too, and we can probably handle it right now. And this is in standard South Park tradition, is that, yeah, the last show was a cliffhanger. It was meant to be a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And when we come back, do you guys want to know what the episode's about? Yeah! So do we. We would love to know,
That's
but
so mean.
we have no idea what it's going to be about.
However, at our wrap party with the last run of shows, you know, a little bit of the crew was like, oh my God, is this the end of South Park? Because the media was like, this is the end of South Park. And Trey actually made an announcement, and he said, during the writers' meeting, we were toying with a few ideas of how the next show is going to be.
That's right.
So, yeah, so it's not the end of South Park. No. Not without my anus part 2.
What were the few of the ideas like for the next South Park movie?
For the next movie, you know what, there isn't really any. Yeah, I mean, yeah. To be honest with you, the way that we do the show and we do production, you know, we do one show a week, and it's really, sometimes it's topical, sometimes it's really what Matt and Trey just kind of discussed during the writers' meetings that week. So, I mean, to answer that question is absolutely impossible. Yeah. It's just kind of like depending on what the feelings the writers are going to be in the fall. You know, I don't. Maybe Charlie Sheen will do something really stupid again. I don't know. Who knows? And we'll do a show about that. It just never matters. You know, you never know. Yeah.
Alright, just gotta say, huge fan of the show. I've been watching ever since I was a little kid. With that being said, I would really like to see you guys get me a beer right now.
A beer?
Yeah.
Beer.
I don't know if we can do that right now. I don't think we can.
Well,
How old are you?
I'm not in high school. I'm
Oh, you were so close.
just kidding. I'm 21.
So close.
But seriously, serious question. Has there been talk of them doing a new cartoon?
Not that I know.
No. I mean, I mean, from talking, they love South Park.
The last interview that Trey did was on with Matt was on the Daily Show, I think, was the public one, and he said he just loves South Park, and he just loves the characters. The characters are so fun for him to write, and yeah, I don't think there's any other. We're not like Seth MacFarlane, where we're going to take on the Flintstones and do something that's been done, I don't know, 50 years ago. Yeah.
Hi, I want to say, first of all, this is a great 18th birthday for me.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, everybody.
Let's get her a beer.
Are you Olivia? Oh yeah, you were here yesterday. Give it up for
Only in
Olivia.
Canada.
Happy birthday, Olivia.
Happy birthday.
And speaking of Kenny, will we be seeing more of Mysterion?
That's a really
great
good question.
Yeah, you guys are asking questions that are somewhere in some brain somewhere on the East Coast right now. Yeah, we don't know.
You know, I think it was the cool thing because, like, the Mysterion episodes, like, that kind of evolved and became a much bigger story, too.
Yeah, they really toyed around with the idea of who Mysterion was going to be.
Yeah.
It was great for Kenny, though. It was perfect. It really established more of...
I want to know how many people it actually blew their mind when they found out that Mysterion was Kenny. How many people out there?
Cool. 5. Cool. Cool.
Hi. Will we ever see 200 and 201 episode be aired on Comedy Central again?
Are there any Comedy Central people that want to field this question?
It's on the DVD.
It's on the DVD.
The DVD, but the problem is it's the way that it aired, so it does have all the bleeps on it.
Yeah.
I think the main question is we're ever going to see it unbleeped, and that's a really great question because, I mean, I don't want to really touch the topic, but it was a great episode
It
to
was
find
an
out that
amazing episode.
Scott Tenorman and Cartman shared the same father. It was,
brothers.
it was, yeah.
That's good.
And reenactment. Okay. There's a reenactment of the episode.
Hey, I had a question. Living in Salt Lake City for about 6 months, I had a really quick question about with the Book of Mormon and the Mormon episode. What gave Matt and Trey the idea to actually go into making the musical and to doing the little episode on it? So I thought that was kind of funny because they got into detail the whole entire belief about Mormonism and stuff.
You know, they have always. I mean, that movie they did right when we started South Park. They did a movie. Have any of you seen it called Orgasmo?
Yeah, you mentioned Orgasmo. And Orgasmo actually is about a Mormon who goes to Hollywood because he wants to save up enough money for his wedding, and he ends up getting into the entertainment industry, of the adult entertainment industry. So the Mormon, just the whole religion. I mean, obviously we've touched religion in a lot of episodes of South Park, but I think the Mormon religion, he's just like fascinating by it.
I think Matt said it best. He said he loved the fact that it was like, it's an American religion, and it's in our modern time, so you can look at the roots and actually see how it was born and see how it was formed and what it is now, and like Christianity, Judaism, everything else, that's so long ago that nobody really knows. You have books and writings, but this one was in America. Like, it started here like 200 years ago. So I think it's like pop culture for religion, I guess.
I mean, I went to college with Matt, or you did too. We went to college with Matt and Trey. I don't remember him talking about Mormons very much. No. I even actually went to high school with Trey, and he didn't talk about Mormons then either. And I had one Mormon friend, and I don't know if he had any or not, but obviously there's been some study that he did with the religion and him and Matt have had these discussions that led to, the show and the movies and the play.
I had a question.
Okay.
Cartman must be pretty messed up to not knowing that he grinded up his own father and fed him to his half-brother. And when he found out that it was his dad, that the only thing he cared about is that he was half ginger. So he must be pretty messed up to think that.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Now that you said it that way, that's pretty fucked up. Yeah. Pretty messed up, yeah.
More questions. We can all agree that was pretty fucked up.
Way fucked up.
All right.
Two
Way to
parts.
point that out.
First of all, I'd like to celebrate my friend's birthday.
Another birthday.
Happy birthday, friend.
Keep it going for Pat, everybody. He just turned an undisclosed age, but
Happy
he's
birthday,
fucking
Pat.
sweet.
This is not the year of the fan. This is the year of birthdays.
The actual question is, which one of you has a better story about name-dropping South Park to have a good time in an evening?
Wow.
Are you gonna?
No, I mean, obviously we were both like sent from Colorado because we were both friends with Matt and Trey in Colorado, and we, going into Hollywood, and you have all the clubs in Hollywood, and of course you want to get into these clubs. But I don't really have a story.
No,
I mean, I can tell one. I can tell a story of a friend that I was with, and we were trying to get into the Sky
change
Bar.
all those names.
I won't even say the name. It was the Standard Hotel, probably about 8 years ago, which was the big hotel to get into. But anyway, we were going to the Standard, and I hope that train comes so you can't really hear what I'm saying. No, but we were trying to get into the Standard, and there was a long line. Of course, he went up to the front. He's like, "Hi, yeah, we're here to meet Matt and Trey. Like, Matt and Trey are supposed to come, and we're supposed to have drinks with Matt and Trey.
We need to get in now."
And they were like, "Okay, all right, we would love to meet Matt and Trey, so go on, head on inside the bar." So we went inside the bar, and of course we sat there, and they weren't coming and everything, so we ended up decided to leave. So that was really the only name dropping that I've ever been around where we tried to use South Park to get into a bar. You think you knew better?
Well,
No, I honestly can't. I'm gonna be totally. That was another guy that did that.
Yeah. That was another guy. Yeah, that we were with.
Hey, will Ike ever grow up?
Will Ike ever grow up? At this rate, probably not. I don't know. Maybe we'll do an episode where Ike is, older in the future. We did that kind of with Cartman, with My Future Self and Me, where we saw the future Cartman. But I don't know if we'll ever do it with Ike because they just turned. I think the kids just turned 10. They just moved on to the next grade.
You guys should have like an episode, like 20 years into the future, where Ike is all grown up, and then he goes to beat up all the other kids.
We've got some Ike fans over here.
That's right.
We've got some Ike fans right here.
When did the idea for Butters get started?
Oh boy.
Do you want to take that? How many did you guys actually see Butters in the pilot? So Butters is in the classroom. What a lot of people don't know is that Butters has been through South Park forever. It wasn't until season 3 that he actually got a name. We called him Puff Puff.
Yeah, we called the character Puff Puff for the first few seasons because he had that little puff puff on his head. And then there was one time where Matt was dating one of his college, I think.
That's right.
Girlfriend.
College girlfriend.
And he started putting ERS on the end of everything, and he's like, "Your little buddy, your little buddy,
Hey, buddy.
your little Butters." Yeah. But then they broke up, and it didn't work out, and so I ended up getting the nickname of Butters.
Actually, Eric is Butter.
And I'm actually
For those of you who don't know,
I'm actually the real Butters.
The real Butters,
the real Butters.
Butters right here.
All right. And the reason why is because in high school and in college I was 2 years behind Matt and Trey, and so I was always kind of like the little brother to them, and
tagging along,
the little buddy, the little brother, and that's kind of where Butters came from. And coming from Colorado, I really seriously had the cookie cutter little childhood, and I was like the Leave It to Beaver, and so Trey kind of based Butters roughly on me. And actually, Crispy is based on Butters' dad. Butters' dad is based on the look of Crispy. So the next time you see Butters and Butters' dad,
you can think of us.
It's kind of like
that's us.
There's food trucks right there, Ken.
I don't have an evil villain. No, I wish. I don't see with my pants down, and I don't have an asphyxiated anus either. So yeah, so.
What were your realistic expectations when you guys were working on the pilot, and did you guys still think that you would be talking about it 15 years later?
I didn't think we'd be sitting here 15 years later talking about it, but I knew that we would see it on T-shirts, and I knew it was going to be a big success, because I saw Trey first perform. It was kind of like, I forgot what the name of the band was, but he did it with a talent show, and no, it wasn't DVDA.
No,
it was,
this was way back.
It was like Satan's Offspring was the name of the talent show that we did. And he actually made fun of all the heavy metalers, you know, the guys that wore the jean jackets that had like Metallica and all that's on there. And so that's the first time I saw him perform, and I knew instantly that he was able to, you know, stir up the pot and talk about controversy. So that was the first time I saw it.
And I'll tell a true story that when I first went out to work on the show, like it was one of those things that I was still living back in Denver working, and I had talked to you guys and said, hey, you said the show's going, and they said, you know, you have 24 hours to like move out to LA and start working if you want to do it. And I said, oh, how could I pass up the opportunity? And I went and told my girlfriend, who's now my wife, thankfully, but moved out to LA. And I remember sitting in one of the houses, and Matt and Trey were actually talking about like how cool it is to be on a TV show, and I was a little nervous. I mean, I just left home. I sold my car and I moved out with one duffel bag to LA, like right out of college. And Matt said to me, he's like, dude, no matter what happens, you can tell someone you worked on a TV show. Like, that's the coolest thing ever. And here we are, you know, 15 years later, never imagining that it would get to this point. It's pretty incredible.
It's cool. It's been a great ride, and obviously thank you from the fans. Yeah,
it's all you.
Yeah.
15 years because of you.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think you'll ever bring back, like, Chris Stough or something? Because he's so cute!
Chris Stough?
Oh, from the feature.
Oh, the mole.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, he died. He died in the future, died in the feature, so I don't know if we'll ever see Chris Stough ever again. The mole.
Because people who die in South Park never come back to life.
Except for Kenny.
Except for Saddam. Yeah, that's true. It's true. I mean, it's so often that we use characters only for one episode, and then we never see that character again. Yeah.
Hi guys, thank you so much for being here. I probably have one of the dubious honors of being one of the oldest people in the audience. I have a fond memory of watching the pilot on my prom night. So most people probably haven't even gone to the prom yet. In any event, I'm also from the East Coast, and so my favorite episode is Osama bin Laden has party pants.
I know.
But being an East Coaster, and particularly from the New York area, I thank you so much for that episode.
Why that episode in particular?
Only because it dealt with a time that, you know, where we were very, you know, we were in a rough place, and that episode helped us out a lot. But in any event, I mentioned that because it is my favorite episode, so I want to know what your favorite episode was.
You know what? I have actually been asked that so many times, and it's after 216 episodes, it's so hard to actually pick your favorite. I mean, I think Matt and Trey say it all the time. It's like picking your favorite kid. I think it's really hard. I can tell you my favorite character. My favorite character. I don't give it up for Randy. Anybody like Randy? And I have to say, I love those. And Randy's one of those characters that's totally matured through the series. Like, he started out being the lame geologist dad, and now, like, when we do an episode, like, it's the crazy Randy, and I love that shit. I do.
Which is
like awesome.
Because Trey's dad's real name is Randy, and he's a geologist.
It's totally true.
And he seriously talks like that, so it's really funny that when he comes in, and So, whenever whenever I get asked my favorite episode, I always, the one just pops out, and it's Good Times with Weapons.
That one's good.
I just love that episode. It's so funny. Not just because it's a Butters episode where you get to start as which I never happened to me, just so you guys know. But it is one of my favorites. Yeah, I like any episode that we kind of do, like the World of Warcraft episode.
Different stuff, yeah.
That episode is awesome to watch in a big crowd, and I almost wish we could watch it tonight because it's so funny to watch with a big group of people.
You know what? It's amazing. That's one of those episodes that, and that was another episode because usually do the show in 5 days. And that was one of those episodes.
It took 3 weeks.
Yeah, it took a lot longer, and like Blizzard actually got involved.
Yeah.
And came in and built specific rigs that looked like the boys. Like they were awesome.
Actually, when they brought in, for a couple weeks we'd work with them, and one of the guys that works for Blizzard, he was the guy who was, sitting at his computer back in LA that's, killing the kids. He's based on one of the guys that would come in.
He is real.
And that was like a last minute thing because we have a friend named Junichi Nishimura who's lives in Japan now, but he's really good at video games, and they were going to base that character on June.
Yep.
And we actually even corralled him and everything, but once Trey got around the Warcraft guys, and they were like, I'm going to make it that guy. That guy's got to be that guy.
Why did you guys bleep out the movie, If Life, and when you're talking and you end up cursing, that's not bleeped out?
Yeah, we don't have bleeps when we say fuck and shit and ass. Nice, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Well,
I guess we can say ass.
In the theater, it wasn't bleeped out.
Not at all.
Yeah, not at all. But it's because it's a rated R movie. Like, when they show it on Comedy Central, they have to bleep it out unless they show it really, really late. And I think they usually advertise it as a unbleeped episode. Is it going to be bleeped tonight?
No.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
I don't think it's going to be bleeped.
Yeah. Right up there, you're going to see it unbleeped.
Otherwise, it would mostly just be bleep, bleep, bleep.
And that's for whoever's birthday it is today.
That's right. It's out right to you.
Unbleeped.
Oh, hi. I'm super big fan of South Park. Absolutely love it.
Thank you.
I had a question about Matt and Trey.
Okay.
So I heard that Stan and Kyle are based off of them, so I was wondering how similar you really think they are to Stan and Kyle.
Okay, that's a good question actually. Because they are often like that. Earlier episodes more so.
Yeah.
But as we had to develop and the show evolved, with the look in the show and everything, they kind of whatever was story driven. But they're very much like those two characters, I think, definitely for the early episodes. But Stan, Trey pretty much considered. I think he even said in interviews that Stan was based on him and Kyle was based on Matt. But even there's a few characters in South Park that are based on real people in Matt and Trey's life, and So,
and I would
Principal
say,
Victoria,
I would say
Mr.
too,
Mackey.
when we started the show with Matt's fro, Kyle has a Jew fro because of Matt's hair.
Yeah, that's because of Matt's hair. Yeah, which he keeps shaved most of the time now.
Yeah, now he does.
But if you look at basketball, he's got
he's got the huge
which they did a horrible wig in there. I don't know if you guys have been into the art
That's
in there, but his hair doesn't look too bad.
How come you ended up not showing Muhammad, and are you ever going to?
Wow, what a
Well, we did show Muhammad in the Super Best Friends.
We did.
When it originally aired.
A long time ago, season 5.
When it wasn't a big deal.
It was not.
But
I would say probably not. Probably.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but when we did that show,
there was a lot of tension, and that was unfortunate.
It's a very touchy subject, and I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah. So next question.
Okay, well, I was in an internet chat with Matt Stone a few years ago, and he kind of dodged this question.
Oh, great.
I probably
so you give it to us now?
Yeah, that's
of course.
Thanks.
Now's a good time.
Well, obviously, it wouldn't want to... Kenny is completely uncensored and unmuffled, as in, we can see his face, even.
Do you want it, because you actually did?
Yeah, actually, it's I don't know how it happened, but I'm the one that does Kenny's voice when it's unmuffled.
That's right.
And we've already done it, and we did it for, thank you, we did it...
Jeffersons, right? The Jeffersons.
We did it for the Jeffersons.
Oh, the movie.
In the movie, it was supposed to be Mike Judge, which I think we can honestly say now that it was Trey who redid the read.
Yeah.
I didn't do it in the movie, but I did it in the Jeffersons, and I did it in Lifecapades when he gets soaped, and I say, oh, no, not the soap, not the soap.
Yeah.
And so I did it. So I've only done it a few times, but So we have kind of done Kenny unmuffled, but it's usually me that gets pulled into the sound booth at the last minute to do it. So, who is Mysterion? Well, that was still Matt, because he still talked like, Christopher Nolan wanted Batman to talk. So
that's right.
He talked like this instead of this. Yeah.
One of my favorite episodes is the one with the Lord of the Rings.
Yes, that's another one of my favorites too. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little more about that?
What would you like to know?
Why it's one of your favorite episodes?
I don't know.
Because it's fun.
It's great.
I can honestly say that Trey, he read those books probably back in junior high and loved. He's a big J.R. Tolkien fan, and that's probably where it stemmed from once it started becoming popular and Peter Jackson started making the movies.
Yeah.
But he did such a great twist on it with the porno, and it's
Little Butters.
It's one of my most favorites. Yeah. Again, another Butters episode.
That's a great. And I think that was a lot of like a standout for Jimmy, too. Like with You Shall Not Pass.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
It was a good Jimmy moment.
Ever since last year, I was introduced to South Park, and ever since then, my favorite character was Kenny, but this one question just always pops into my mind. How does Kenny, when he dies, how does he come back to life?
Ooh. Someone else want to cover this?
Wow.
I mean, we just did a whole couple of episodes about it. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to come down there, and he's going to explain it to you.
Yeah, okay. Did you see the Mysterion episode?
No.
The Coon and Friends trilogy?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so get this. Like, last
Blame him.
season, there was this time where these guys got together, and they got really drunk, if you will, and Kenny's parents were there. And so they were part of some demonic ritual, something about reading books.
That's pretty good.
Something about R.L. Stein? No? Yes?
No.
All right. Either way, no, H.P. Lovecraft. That's who it was. Got it. And he totally, their parents participated in it. So now whenever Kenny dies, Kenny's reborn through the womb. And then he's put into bed with his little coat, which I'm surprised they can afford so many. And, rinse and repeat.
Very good.
Nice.
That was
done.
very well said. Now,
good.
when we were doing those two shows, there's 3 shows.
Yeah, 3.
Wow, 3 shows. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. But we actually had to go back into a past episode where Kenny was reborn, where he was trying to give his mom
an abortion.
We had to go back into that episode and see how we kind of covered that so that it would make sense for the Mysterion 3 shows. So it's kind of interesting if you go back and look at that show, and then you can see why we had to make the decision that we did so that it would all work out. But anyway.
Okay, so I'm a huge South Park fan. I watched the whole series in about the time span of 2 months.
Wow. Good for you.
He who has
Can
your
we give her a
life.
hand? Can we give her a hand
He who
for
has
that?
your life.
2 straight months of South Park?
You play Warcraft?
Okay, so I wanted to know how you came up with the idea for the show.
Oh. You know what? That's
going way back to college.
Yeah, that's...
No, it was Matt and Trey who came up with the original
That's
idea.
right. We don't want to take credit for that.
And really
at all.
going back to college, I studied animation, and I wanted to become an animator, and Trey actually gave me the advice of just getting into the film school.
Mm-hmm.
Forget taking drawing lessons, just get into the film school and start making animated movies. And so at the time, I was a big fan of Disney, and I'd seen The Little Mermaid. I'll admit it. Saw The Little Mermaid, and I wanted to work for Disney because coming from Colorado, really Disney is they're making all the movies, and if you want to get into animation, you're doing Disney.
Yep.
But anyway, Trey had the idea of doing a little short with these kids. And he kind of explained it all to me right there in the front of the film desk there in college. And he said, they're going to put this hat on Frosty, and then he's going to come to life, and he's going to kill all these kids. And I was like, okay, I'm a big fan of The Little Mermaid, and killing kids, I don't think it's going to work. So anyway, I continued doing animation, and Crispy and I, we kind of worked on animations throughout college, and Trey really liked the animations that we did, and so we were kind of the first persons hired on because he knew our interest in animation. And so him and Matt wanted to do more live action because they had Cannibal and Orgasmo.
And most of the films that they did in college, Trey was the only one who did animated stuff really in college. He did American History.
Yeah, Matt really didn't do any animated stuff in college at all.
Yeah, Matt did a lot of live action.
Yeah. So Trey actually, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Trey won a Student Academy Award, and the name of the short is American History, and it's on YouTube. But you can see it's really great. And Jun Nishimura, who I was talking about earlier, he actually does the voice of the narrator who does the history of America. And then Trey animated it. It's really funny.
The best part is Junichi, who is our friend who was in college, and he had come over from Japan, and he had maybe been in the United States for 6 months. So it's basically a Japanese guy who had lived in Japan, lived in America for 6 months, telling what American history actually is, and it's amazing.
Really funny.
It's genius.
Is it on the website?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
We don't have it up on the website.
But it is on YouTube. You guys should all check it out.
Yeah, you should check it out. But I also remember when we were in college, we were working on an animated short, and you brought the Frosty versus Jesus back one night, and we were watching it, and probably watched it about 10 times in a row. Because it was so fun. And how many of you have actually seen the Frosty versus, not Spirit of Christmas, but Frosty versus Jesus? Yeah.
Frosty versus Jesus. Yeah, okay, cool.
It's pretty cool. And you can even see, like, I think in that one, the fat kid dies and his name is Kenny. Yeah, which is, but you can see, like, the characters already started to have names, and that was, like, 4 years
It definitely has the humor of the show. It definitely has the characters, the personalities, even in that small of a short, it's, you can see those characters. Okay.
Going back to an older episode where you had Nambla. Now, I was actually really shocked.
That's another one of my favorite episodes. Wow.
I was rather shocked and a little appalled to find out that it was a real organization. I was like, oh my god.
I know, right?
And
the National Marlon Brando lookalike. Yeah.
That's what I was actually asking about. Was the Marlon Brando lookalike a real organization too, or did you just put that in there to lighten the episode a bit?
You know what?
I want to say it's a joke, but I don't. There probably is now.
I don't think there was at the time. I think it was just Trey just toying with,
with the initials and definitely making a joke out of it.
I just want to know, will there be an episode when Chef comes back? Because when he turns into Darth Vader?
Sadly, I would just like to say, when Isaac left the show, it was a sad time for all of us. And, after he passed away, I think it was even worse. And I think a lot of it is that, Matt and Trey, after Isaac left, were very open about it, that said that he had an open invitation to come back to the show anytime he wanted to. But unfortunately, he passed away, and I just think on the show, I know we all miss him. He was an amazing character. He was great.
It was really cool to have him as a part of the show. It was great. He had a great sense of humor, and he really loved the character. In fact, I think even when he went on tour, he would sing.
He would dress up. He would put on the hat.
Balls and people loved it. But unfortunately, he passed away, and I don't think it'd be ever proper to.
No, definitely not.
To bring back Darth Chef.
Yeah.
At what point in the development of South Park, like when you guys were starting to think it up, did you just decide that you were always going to kill Kenny? Just to bring back, always.
Wow. Well, Matt and Trey in interviews, they say that, you know what, when South Park got picked up, they thought they were going to do 9 episodes, and that was going to be the end.
That was 6 months I was talking about before.
they were just like, it's not a big deal, we're just going to have Kenny die every episode, and we're going to do 9 episodes, and we'll move on to something new.
Yeah.
And so, once after it became like, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons in, honestly, like Chris and I, we would be the animators, we'd be animating, and then we'd get kind of close to about 80% done with the show, and then Matt and Trey would figure out where Kenny was going to get killed.
He would figure out where and how.
It was one of the last things that they would add to the show, and then we'd have to go back and delete Kenny from like the end, and we'd have to reconfigure and that was a time where we were lucky to get any shot done and get it to the Avid to be edited. So it became kind of a problem, and that's why now they only kill Kenny like when it's funny.
Yeah, on special occasions.
On special occasions. Yeah. They do it for the fans a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like for the Christmas episodes or whatever.
Absolutely.
Do you guys plan on revisiting the Team America and maybe taking the Book of Mormon and do it in that medium?
Do it in the puppets? That would be actually pretty good.
Yeah,
have you seen Book of Mormon yet?
No.
No.
Here.
Okay,
is it going to come to the West Coast?
It is going to travel tour. Yeah, I heard it's going to go to Los Angeles. 2013. Anyway, you'll be what? Dead? Oh yeah.
That's true. Sorry. Sorry for all of you who will be dead, but the rest of you, 2013.
They are talking about traveling with the Mormon. They probably will never. They always talk about not wanting to revisit the puppets with Team America because it took so much. And those puppets could do so little that they probably won't ever do a puppet.
I remember them saying at one point, it was like, we're going to work with puppets, it's going to be sweet, and at the end they were cursing.
Yeah, it's funny because they didn't want to work with actors, so they worked with puppets.
And now they don't want to work with puppets.
Where'd you get the idea for Tally?
Tally came from...
This is actually great.
They did a writer's retreat, which I know this is going to sound too fancy and too nice, but they were in Hawaii, and they were doing a writer's retreat. And they were all going to go on the boat, and they were all like hurting for ideas, and they were like, they got all the guys on the boat, and someone said, hey, don't forget to bring a towel. And they were like, that's it, we'll do Tally. And the reason why they did Tally is because of Jimmy.
Yeah, it was...
Because Comedy Central said you can't do Jim, you can't do Timmy, you can't do Timmy. It was like Timmy, you can't do Timmy, and we're not going to do Timmy, and you got to keep Timmy really short, just keep him, where he pulls out Kenny's tooth, and that's it for Timmy. But Trey wanted to do a whole other show with Timmy, and the fans loved Timmy, and so after Timmy became huge, they were like, you got to come up with a new character. You've got to come up with a new character.
And part of the funny thing is it was like probably. I think they've admitted that like the worst character.
I think they even say it in the episode. Like,
yeah,
like,
you're
like
the
Tally,
worst.
You've been the worst character.
Yeah.
Ever. But anyway, that's where Tally came from. Yeah, from don't forget to bring a towel. And don't forget to bring a towel.
I was wondering, where did you guys get the idea to change Mr. Garrison's sexuality and to switch him from male to female and then back to male?
That's kind of because we've been on the air for 15 years. And, you know, you just have to have evolution and...
you have to grow your characters and then
I think
have them come back to the exact same thing full circle.
I think a better question is, where's Mr. Garrison going to go from here?
Yeah, he's been has he been everything?
He's done full circle twice.
Yeah.
This isn't a question, but I'm going to be leaving already, but I want to say I'm a huge fan. Ever since I was little, my dad here behind me would always catch me in the room telling me not to watch it.
How old are you? Just curious. How old are you?
High school.
Okay, high school. So you're about 17. So you're about 2 years old when we started doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
So I've been a huge fan, and hopefully you guys keep making more episodes.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you.
Yeah, 2 more years at least.
Okay, so I love Token. I really do. I grew up in Iowa, like only black person for the whole state.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Are we gonna see more Token? Is there gonna be like a Token episode?
We haven't done a Token episode in a while, and usually it comes in waves when we like concentrate on a character.
Yeah. The cool thing is the guy who does the voice for Token is also on the show.
Yeah, he's the producer on our show. He's in charge of the whole art department. He's in charge of the look of the show, and he does the voice of Token.
I still remember from the pilot, like walking into the studio with all the cutouts and seeing Token for the first time and seeing the T on his chest.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where, and it was like a little gap, a little pause, and it was like, oh, Token, that's good.
Okay, I just wanted to know like where Mr. Hanky came from, like his origin, and we always actually play the Christmas album in my house.
That's another favorite episode.
Wow.
I have, is the Mr. Hanky episode.
I like your family that they play the South Park Christmas album at. Mr. Hanky is actually something that Trey grew up with.
Yeah, Trey really has to answer that question because it does come from Trey and his dad. He said something about like his dad used to teach him to potty train him. He's like,
you have to flush the toilet.
You have to flush Mr. Hanky down the toilet, or he's
going to come get you.
So that's kind of what Mr. Hanky.
Thanks for that, Randy.
Yeah, that's more of a Trey question. Yeah, we really can't answer.
Hi. Sorry. I need to shout out to another character that needs more screen time, Craig Mother Tucker. Are we going to bring him back?
I know, right?
Craig is great.
The best looking student in his class.
That was Rick.
No, that's Clyde.
Clyde is.
Craig,
yeah.
yes, Craig.
You know what? I think we do that all the time on the show, too.
Yeah.
Is that Craig and Clyde, we even have trouble, sometimes we do with the voices, because they're so similar.
Yeah, when you guys watch the pilot, there's a couple shots there where Stan is supposed to be talking, and they actually animated Kyle.
Yeah.
You saw it, right? When they talk to the cow, or talking to the aliens, yeah.
And that happens, it happens because Matt and Trey, probably most of you know this, but they do like every single voice on the series. So a lot of times we'll even sit there, like they'll do a dialogue change.
Yeah.
And you guys have that problem where it's like, is that Stan or is it
even in the
Kyle?
storyboard sometimes I have to be, this is Matt's character's got the glasses or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, you didn't like the guinea pig episode?
I loved it.
Oh, okay, you like the guinea pig episode. Okay, alright.
Answer guinea pig.
Was that already 3 years ago? Wow. Alright, I'll tell those guys.
Where did you get the idea
Need more Craig.
Where did you get the idea for Man Bear Pig?
I don't even know where Man Bear Pig came from, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a Matt and Trey question in the writers. I don't know where that came from, where it stirred from. So,
as a current student at CU Boulder, I was really psyched to see.
Go Buff.
Go Buffs. I was really psyched to see CU in the recent Crack Baby episode. And I was just curious, like, did you have any dialogue with Chancellor DeStefano or any of like the higher ups at CU before you made that?
No. To be honest, you know what? That happens above where we are. We just get to do the fun stuff. We don't have to be involved in all that.
Yeah, the only reason why we picked the CU is because, well, we went to CU, but because the show takes place at CU, and they're the closest.
That was the closest college
that Cartman would go to say, you know, how do you get away with what you do? Yeah, okay. That's a safe way to answer that. Hi.
What's the inspiration for Tally?
Tally?
We just went over
We
that.
already said that.
Yeah, it's already been covered.
Covered. Dave, I know you. Yeah, hey, Dave.
Hey,
Actually, he's a real character from Orgasmo right here. Okay. Did you just come here? Okay, you missed it. Yeah.
Hey guys,
Okay.
long time fan.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey, I was wondering if you guys are ever going to do a sequel to your first motion picture for South Park. If you guys are ever going to do a sequel for it.
Oh, to Bigger Longer? You know, we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about doing another movie. Like, there's no movie in the works right now, but hopefully in the future.
You never know when an
one.
idea is going to pop up, though. I think that's the key. Is that you just with way Matt and Trey work and everything else works, you just never know what's going to strike their fancy.
Yeah.
Was Terrence and Phillip, like, how'd they come up with their, like, movie and how famous they are?
Terrence and Phillip?
Yeah.
Are you asking where the idea for Terrence and Phillip came from?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. I don't.
It was kind of a riff on, like, Beavis and Butthead. And some of that stuff. Was it? Because we needed that was part of the cartoon thing with the swearing.
Yeah, it was like 15 years ago, and it was kind of like the way that they were trying to censor South Park because we were just brand new, we were on cable, and I guess they kind of created the characters for Terrence and Phillip because they were so crude, and Kyle's mom was trying to censor them back in an earlier episode. But that was way back in season 1, and I don't really remember.
That was
it was like 15 years ago. Sorry.
What are some of the ideas that Comedy Central wouldn't let you show?
Actually, you know what? This is kind of cool because Comedy Central has been really good to South Park. There's a lot of things that South Park has tried to do, and they really have. I think they've really worked with Matt and Trey to figure out what's feasible, what we can do, and what we can't do. And so in that respect, I mean, they haven't. I don't know if a lot of you, hopefully, you've all been watching this season. You noticed that we started saying shit on air. Yeah. I mean, no other show does that. Comedy Central is like, yep, okay, yeah, you can do that.
I mean, as you watch the evolution of South Park, and early on it was like we couldn't show a lot of blood, and you know, all of a sudden we just get it really, really gory.
Super, yeah.
But along the way, you know, there's been shows like Jackass and all these other shows that have kind of like helped us get away with a little bit more because.
And I think we've helped, you know, South Park has helped do that.
Yeah, I mean. I don't know what the conversations are with Trey and not the legal department, but Trey and standards and practices. But, you know, there's a little play back and forth between, well, can we do this? Let's cut this down a little bit. Yeah. We'll cut this back a little bit if we can get away with this or if we can show this. So there was a lot of toying going on. But in the recent episodes, though, I think we've come a long way. And even with other shows, you know, that are on just like national television, they're getting away with more, which allows us to get away with a little bit more.
And I think the big thing is too, like with South Park, like we said, "God damn it," in the first episode, and that really hadn't been done before, and so that was breaking a taboo 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the evolution of the content.
Hi, how did they come up with the goth kids? Because for that genre, it is so right on.
Well, you know, I wish I knew that because they're some of my favorites.
Yeah, I can honestly say that Trey is a big fan of Robert Smith. Obviously, we did a Robert Smith episode. Right. Hey, can you FAGS's stop in with the motorcycles over there, please? We're trying to have a little Q&A. Thank you. Yeah, he's a big fan of The Cure. Wow, thanks.
Works. Totally works.
But he's a big fan of Robert Smith, and there was a couple Halloween parties where he'd dress up as goth, and I think it's just some kind of like underlying thing that, you know, Trey...
It's kind of like the Mormon. Like, he's just kind of fascinated by it, and so it creeps into the world.
Yeah, knowing Trey, you know, as long as we have, it's a fascination. Yeah.
Hi, so obviously all names and likenesses are coincidental, but have any celebrities gotten really pissed at you guys for making fun of them on the show?
Tina Yothers actually ran into Matt probably about 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Tina Yothers," and he was like, "Oh." But other than that,
you know, we don't usually
and
hear
the whole
about
controversy with Tom Cruise and Trapped in the Closet, which is my wife's favorite episode. I don't.
You know what? There have been a lot of celebrities that have been in the show, and there have been a lot of things like pop culture wise that we've actually put into the show, and we find out later that they're psyched about it because, you know, there's a lot of times where somebody will get put into the show or something will get put into the show, and people start, hate to say it, but people start paying attention to it again, and so it gets that extra bump from South Park, and we've actually had a lot of people come back and said, oh, that's cool, thanks for doing that.
I kind of want to say, and I kind of forget over the 15 years, but because we ripped on David Caruso, I think there was a time where he was like, I want to do a voice on the show, because you guys totally ripped on me, and that would be totally cool. So I don't, yeah, it's, everyone's on their own, and sometimes it happens.
Hey. Is there a demographic that you haven't made fun of that you would like to?
Let's see, made fun of young people, old people.
Almost every religion. Yeah. I think we've covered... I'm sure there's something out there that Trey can come up with. I don't doubt Trey's
ability. We just had the Chinese and the Japanese yell at each other. I'm sure there's something out there that we'll discover.
That's what the next 2.5 seasons will be about.
Perhaps.
How did the ideas for the Canadians happen?
Oh, you mean the floppy head? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, are you talking about the animation style, or just because we're ripping on Canadians? Because we're ripping on Canadians? That's a question that came out probably like 10, maybe 13 years ago, the floppy head. Well, I think when South Park started, we had this crude animation because everything was done with construction paper. We were trying to match the look of, having construction paper underneath a camera stand and just kind of mushing it and pushing it around. And I think when they came up with the original Terrence and Phillip episode, they wanted to have a worse looking style of animation.
Yeah, and that's what they all have, those totally square and their heads just flop all around. But I mean,
they didn't even have bendable arms. They just kind of.
I was talking with someone here yesterday, and it was a fan who came up to me, and they said that they had watched the show for a long time, and it wasn't until the movie, and I love this. They said it wasn't until the movie that they realized that Ike was probably Canadian. And I was like, that's pretty awesome.
Hi, I'm over here. I really love the stuff you guys do, and one of the things that really struck me funny was the episode that had the Asian singer Wing on it.
I know, right?
So I looked her up, and she actually does have an album, and people are buying it.
Oh, yes, she does.
How did you guys find that?
I think that's one of those things that comes out of the writer's room. I mean, when they're actually trying to come up with ideas for stuff, like...
Yeah, late at night when we're producing South Park and all the animators are working on their shots and stuff, Trey doesn't have any volume control. He keeps his volume pumped up because he likes to hear things loud. But he's in his office and he's just on YouTube all the time. And he's going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing. And I don't know if somebody told him about Wing, like one of the writers may have told him, but he just stumbled upon Wing. And another fascination he has is with the Asian culture. And I think he was like, this would be a great idea for an episode.
Real show.
Yep. So, I hope that answers your question.
You got a question over here?
How did you think of the fags at...
All right.
Okay.
Anybody else?
That episode... Really?
What?
Can you say that again? Just ask me one more time. Because you're asking a real question, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How did you come up with the fags episode?
Okay, that's fine. That's fair. You're talking about the Harley episode with the bike riders. Yeah, the vroom, vroom. You sounded like Seth MacFarlane there. I thought we had Stewie asking us a question. That episode kind of stirred from one of our friends got married, and we actually made him look, in the show we made the character look like that character, but it was our friend Stan. He got married, and during his wedding, there was these motorcycles, and actually Matt was at that wedding, and they had to stop the whole wedding because it was all, and they were all revving up, and they had to stop the wedding, and Matt was like, God, that sucks so bad. And it was the same thing with the flute, the flutes at the ball,
pan flutes,
with the pan flutes. Matt brought that to the writers' room and said, doesn't that really piss you off? And so, that's kind of where episodes are born. So that answers your question.
That's actually the way a lot of episodes are born. Like, something will happen to Matt or Trey, or they'll be... there are so many episodes that come out of, dinner. Talking about something at dinner, and all of a sudden, a joke, and it gets funnier and funnier and funnier, and then it becomes a whole show.
The South Park is almost like a journal for Trey and Matt. I mean, we went down to Brazil, and we were eating at a restaurant. Down in Brazil, they all speak Portuguese, and we didn't really speak Portuguese and understand the menu. But we were like, we'll have whatever those people are eating, and we were like, what are they eating? What is that they're eating? I don't know. It looks pretty good. And Trey was like, oh, it's veal.
oh, that's veal that they're eating. And then, the next run of shows, we'll do a show about veal, and Stan, and Trey loves animals, and he's always loves critters, and always loves little, like, I don't know, he likes to go golfing because he sees the critters on the golf course. But anyway, he's, that's why that whole show about Stan, somebody asked about Stan, how does that reflect Trey, and he just loves animals, and so that episode came out where they tried to save all the veal. So.
All right. Anybody else?
Anybody? I got one right behind you with the Butters T-shirt, the Goth Butters, the vampire.
When did South Park first start getting very controversial? Like people started getting pissed and stuff.
People get pissed? What?
Oh, you mean when Tom Cruise had his little rant?
I think South Park. I think on day one was one of those things that.
Yeah, but no one ever really got mad.
No, and
Bill
people,
Donahue did when we did the
people
Easter
talk
special.
all the time about people coming and trying to shut South Park down. Like that's never happened.
Yeah, it's never really happened.
Never.
I mean, just because it's going to even cause more exposure, and it's like they just kind of let the
and you don't want to piss Matt and Trey off.
Yeah,
bad idea.
Yeah.
What was when the celebrities got pissed the most out of your episode?
Which celebrity?
Yeah, I think we answered that a little bit earlier, but there haven't been that many.
But we really don't know. I know there was all this speculation of why an episode got pulled, or
I'll admit we don't usually hear about that.
Yeah, it usually doesn't trickle down. It usually is all up in the upper offices and stuff. Okay.
I don't know if this is already asked or not, but who's your favorite minor character? We have Red, for example, Thomas. So who's your favorite minor?
The minor character. Like a character we don't see very often. I wish they'd done more with Dog Poo. There was this character named Dog Poo.
He came back, though. He was in one of the recent episodes.
Yeah, he was in one of the recent episodes, and they actually wanted to use him for an episode, but they realized there was an episode where we made fun of The Bachelor, where we were giving out roses where they were trying to choose their best friend, and he had this debonair, just this great voice, and spoke perfectly good English.
That was the great thing, is that was the only time I think he's really ever.
But when we did the pilot, there was Trey wanted to add a line where Dog Poo talked, and it was something like. What was it? It was like, I don't know why no one ever talks to me. And then Cartman was like, it's because you roll around in shit, Dog Poo. But it never made it. So, that was kind of the inspiration of Dog Poo, which is based on the character out of the Peanuts, the one that walks around, Pigpen. It was just going to be like that.
And he actually does that dance in one of the Christmas episodes, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if he was in that episode, though.
I thought he was.
Maybe.
Okay. It's a long time ago.
Are there any smarter characters? Someone that's at least one person that's smart, or is everybody just complete idiots or not just bright color of the box?
Wow, that's a condemnation right there.
I don't know. I think the kids actually always figure out.
Yeah, they're the ones that always solve the problem.
That are always the cuckoo, and
that's right.
Like Randy and the kids are rise above it, and they approach it a different way. So I would say Stan and Kyle are probably our smartest characters that figure things out.
Okay, how did Kanye West feel about the gay fish episode?
Did anyone read the internet after that episode? Anybody read Kanye's blog? Okay, I think that's enough then.
Yeah, Kanye. It was kind of neat to see him acknowledge it, but then he went and did that silly thing with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Flash isn't real.
The Flash?
No,
Flash isn't real.
He is real.
Guten Flash.
Hi, longtime fan here. Been watching South Park since first season. I was a freshman in high school.
Cool.
Favorite all-time episode has got to be the Underpants Gnomes. And just a question here: where the hell did they get the idea for these Underpants Gnomes? Does someone's underwear go missing in the middle of the night or something, and they had to make up a story?
That's a question for Matt and Trey and the writers, but at the time, really, that was the first episode that we ever did in 4 days. We had 4 days to finish that episode, so we had to come up with something really fast to get it to air.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of the last shows in that run. It's funny because with Tweak was, I think, was supposed to be the original Butters, because, Tweak had this big spotlight on him, and I think that character was just so one-dimensional because he always freaked out, was always worried, that I think that's where Butters kind of came out because Butters was more of a contrasty character with Cartman than Tweak was.
And I remember when we did the first Tweak episode, like, we spent so much time getting his little tweak right.
Yeah.
And then we started putting in other episodes where Tweak would just sit in the classroom and freak out. And Trey would, and he'd be like, we need to calm that down.
Yeah, you know, we also had that problem when we were animating Timmy, because, you know, Timmy's always kind of moving around, and oftentimes Trey would, like, either reframe the shot so that Timmy wasn't in it, or he's like, oh, we got to tone down Timmy, because it was distracting to jokes, and maybe that's why Tweak never,
And it has a lot to do with, I mean, with the early part of South Park, with all the limited animation that we were doing, like, when a character wasn't talking or doing something, they would just sit there, and then it started, you know, for the first 3-4 years, like, we were animating a lot more.
Yeah.
And getting crazy in the background, and I think it became distracting, and maybe took away a little bit from the from kind of the charm of the show and the way that we're supposed to try to make it look crappy.
Yeah.
So.
For the underpants gnome, what's step 2?
That is the question.
I don't think we have enough time for step 2. we got to show the movie here, right?
You guys want to show the movie?
Let's do it. You ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Stough and Chris Brion.
Thank
Make
you.
some noise.
Thank you very much.
That was awesome,
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, cool, guys. You guys ready to see the movie? Make some noise if you want to see the movie. All right, ladies and gentlemen.